Okay, the first thing I want to say about this thing is I kind of expected more music.
Well,
Yeah, it felt well, not really based on how the episode was, but they really it felt like it felt like they added that song in at the end just because they were like, "Oh my gosh, we forgot to put a song in a finale. What's wrong with you? Quick, throw something in there."
Yeah, and I didn't hate this episode. Like, I really enjoyed the episode. I really liked it, but I kind of wanted to see all the villains at once.
That would be cool.
them
Yeah, and I
scrapping together.
yeah, and Discord needed more time and at least some lines. Like, his
Well,
thing was
see,
cute and
I
all,
know
but
there was no lines on Discord.
the thing
I'm
is with it.
sad. My Disky didn't get any lines. He just danced around like a dork.
Well, see, the thing with it, I think, was with the music would be if they put a song in. The more songs they put in, the less they could get to. And
yeah,
they
I
already
know.
had way more ideas than they could actually cover in the time
I
period.
know, but I was just saying, like,
Because they
usually
didn't
with
even
all
finish covering some of it.
I know, but I was just saying, usually with all the other like season finales and stuff, there's always like three or four songs in the thing, and it's just like out of nowhere. And this one just has like one at the end.
Yeah, I don't think it needed a song, but it did need at least one line from Discord. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It may have been a contractual issue. It's like, okay, we can either show we can either get him in while we're doing this other episode and have him do this extra line, but we'll have to. There probably is a contractual thing where they have to pay him a lot more. There's a per episode fee or something, and then
Mm-hmm.
they got one line out of him. It would cost them a lot more than just having the one line because they would have
yeah.
to pay him for the
I still
appearance or
want to.
something.
I still want to see all the villains together because that would have made more sense.
Well, no, I think what happened, although I don't think that the order was right with it, at least in certain levels of extremity.
Yeah,
Because she was like, it's just getting worse and worse. And when she came back that one time, it was going from bad and it was horrible. And then it's like, oh, there's Discord just dancing around. And it's like, that is out of order with the extremity level.
this
Yeah, I
is
mean, Discord is he's not. It's not exactly a cakewalk to have Discord
Yeah, but it's not
at his
like,
chaotic peak. But usually he's not trying to kill ponies. He's just trying to
yeah,
be.
it's not like it. The first one was enslavement. The next one was trying to just take over the entire planet and destroy ponies. And then it goes to Discord, who's just happily dancing about with a jackalope or
I
something, and
think he was
like,
supposed to be on a unicycle. Something.
yeah. But I mean, he was just like, it's like he's doing whatever, and it's like,
Yeah,
how
if
is
I have to
that worse
choose
than the
one of
other
those,
two?
yeah, if I had to choose one of those realities to live in, the Discord reality, though chaotic, probably is the
yeah,
least problematic.
and cotton candy clouds and chocolate rain.
But not a single dollop of whipped cream. Not one single dollop.
That is sad.
I I wasn't a huge fan of this episode, this set of episodes. It's just I really don't like when MLP gets too action oriented, too dark, because I think what this series really does is a what it's great at doing is character conflict, you know, that sort of thing, and it's not as good when it does that. Like I'd rather watch the main attraction twice than watch the remark again. It's
Well,
just
that's because you just are in love with AJ.
Well,
well that helps,
AJ's your best pony, and it's like,
but I would rather watch most of the seasons outside of Princess Spike. Most of the season you could probably take one of just two random episodes from this season, and I would rather watch that than watch this.
well,
ask keep Discord, and what about Discord? There you go.
Well, see, I liked Dark and all, but see, my thing about it was it should have been longer.
No,
It
you
was
see the
already
way.
2 episodes. What the heck?
No,
I know.
I think they got a little redundant over it all.
Yeah.
The way they wrote it was way too redundant. It's like I actually commented while watching it. Oh wait, no, sorry, that was the Doctor Who finale. That was last week's Doctor Who. Never mind.
Well, actually, that
Last
one
week
made
Doctor
sense
Who,
because
I said Groundhog's Day much, but no.
that one actually
The,
made sense though.
well, yeah, I mean, I loved last week's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an entire hour of Capaldi talking to himself. I mean, how can you not? Um,
Oh,
but
yeah.
even that, in the lack of action in that one, and the redundancy of that one was still more entertaining than the redundancy of this one.
Oh, and I just
They
want
were
to say, I now hate her.
hate who?
The immortal chick.
Me? I've always hated me since episode 2 of that. I mean, she was great when she was Ishildr, but when she became me, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I am me.
I
No,
am.
I'm me. No, I
like-
am me.
It sounds like a bad pun from Dog City or something,
Yeah.
or Abbott and Costello. It's like, dude, but I mean, her personality. She's such a little. Ugh.
Anyway, moving back to ponies.
Yes, ponies.
Aw. I mean, sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we wanted to do a Doctor Who thing, we could do that. But this is a pony stream.
Yeah.
Stick to
Well,
ponies. 'Cause-
it's mostly ponies.
yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. Twilight over prepares for a speech. Not big surprise.
Yes,
Um,
but
interesting that the CMC are the subject of a speech she's giving.
Yeah.
well, that's because cutie marks, and they had that joined cutie mark thing where they both got their
Yeah,
three of them all got cutie marks, not only at the same time, but they're linked together. Their cutie marks have the same.
Yeah, which mean I guess maybe never it hasn't happened before. You know, we don't know.
Or it's just, even if it has, they're closer to them personally, so therefore they are, they're closer to her personally, so it's more of a personal, connection there, just like the whole Sonic Rainbow thing with her.
Yeah.
Their reference. It might have happened before, it might not have, but whether it did or not, it's, a personal reference point as opposed to saying, oh, back in, 3rd century of Celestia's reign, there was one group of fillies who got their cutie mark at the same time, which they were all related, and they were all daggers and shields because it was during the Pony Wars or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Not that it's not worthy of study. That's what they. Usually they just generic it out to. I'm going to talk about friendship and the fact that this was actually more akin to a guest lecturer than a just a speech, because it sounded like what she was talking about at first was she was talking to a bunch of fillies. A bunch of foals about it, and that was what my initial impression was. And then it was actually a fairly big lecture on, that's it might be a well-read piece that this study on this is huge. This is revolutionizing our ideas on what cutie marks can be. Because magic to them is just science. That's their science. They can actually study it and comprehend it and mold it and fix it the way they want.
Yeah. Yeah, and science to them is witchcraft.
I think science is still science, but
yeah, I know.
It's Earth Pony magic.
I forget how it's phrased, but to any lesser less advanced species or culture.
Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I always forget the exact order of that line.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see familiar faces abound. We get Moon Dancer, there's Starlight Glimmer, there's that pony from the Canterlot Boutique episode. She shows up. There's and well, I think there's Lyra, and I think somebody else shows up as well. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of familiar faces in the crowd. Let's see, we get the Spike on vacation slide.
Yes.
Uh,
You see, that's when Spike is best, when he's background pony.
Ah, yes. Yes,
When he's the main for a story, he's just
yes, just sit in.
well, it's not so much background as much as he's good when he's got Twilight to play off of. Like, you don't notice him because he's doing cool. He's doing a good job. Yeah, see, that's the thing. We don't notice when Spike is doing a great job as much because he just kind of blends in and he's there.
He is basically the crew, the sound or the lighting.
Yeah.
Where when he's doing a good job, it's seamless.
Yeah.
But when he's not doing a good job, everything is fucked up.
Yeah, you notice when you only notice when something is going wrong, and
Exactly.
he's
Yeah,
usually
so Spike, just sit in the background with Applejack. I'm joking.
well. I mean, as much as you just say that, I mean, not calling them background characters, but like they're better. Applejack and Spike are great supporting
roles.
Supporting roles. They're amazing at it. That's
It's funny. It's funny that there's even that background Jack for Applejack, considering she's been in the more episodes.
Clonk says, Clonk, our viewer says Applejack for the win.
Indeed.
Applejack has been in the show more than Twilight has.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. She's so good at being a co-star. She's good at being a co-star. She knows she's really good at being a supporting character. And so she appears in a lot of episodes because she's so good at being that level-headed, I'm going to teach you stuff. Like Sisterhood of Social. Who is it that teaches Rarity? Applejack. Each time she's there, she's super supportive. She has her moments of awesome, her crowning moments of awesome, but a lot of times it's just her being level-headed where everybody else is just losing it and going, hey, wait a second, guys, no.
yeah, even in this episode when time went all changey-wangey, she was still her pretty much level-headed self.
She's the bass guitar. You don't notice it as much, but it's critical to the building of the song, because you can have the lead guitar, you can have all the rest, but without that bass guitar in the back, keeping that beat, keeping that back rhythm, it just isn't as rich. It isn't as full. It isn't as good without it. I think that's kind of a good, my kind of analogy for Applejack and Spike is they're good bass guitars. Yeah, can you do an awesome solo on bass? Absolutely, but they're better as when they're fulfilling their role as kind of supporting the main sound, kind of smoothing everything together.
And Clonk the Donk says bass is important as fuck.
Indeed.
It is. I don't play it, but it is.
Yeah. Like, if I ever learned a guitar, I'd want to learn bass, because I like that. I like being that. Yeah, and put yourself in demand as well, because I can't imagine there's as many people who want to learn bass as who want to learn lead.
And of course, if I ever learned to play the bass, you know the first song I would learn how to play. Dun, 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 dun,
Ah.
dun, dun, dun.
That's the first song you learn on any instrument you learn.
Yeah, just see me walking stage and my manly get up, thousands of people cheering my name. Dun 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 dun.
Ah. Um, I probably played that before. I played trumpet in high school, and that would be a whole other story going through all that. But yeah, I mean, I probably played it before. Anyway,
Anyway,
so they get back from the big lecture, and they go to the castle, and Twilight has left the castle unlocked. Uh, or
well, I
or
mean,
Starlight has figured out how to pick a lock, which seems rather.
that and it's the print and it's a castle friendship. Maybe it's just open to the public, you know.
The lower levels,
No,
maybe. I don't know.
you see, she just knows the classic Aloha Mora.
Aloha.
The
Anyway,
unlocking spell.
ah. Anyway, um, so we get the whole confrontation with Starlight, da 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 da, and afterwards, Pinkie Pie walks in with a cake, and then realizes nobody's there, and eats the cake. Why? What is this? What does this do with the rest of the plot? Nothing. It's just Pinkie Pie being Pinkie Pie. And one of the funnier things, I think, one of the funniest things, it's a subtle thing, but it's kind of fun, is when she's popped out of the time portal, Twilight kind of falls and then goes, "Oh wait, I have wings," and goes, "Oh okay," and takes off again and stabilizes once she remembers she has wings. I think she's
And then
getting,
she's like, "Oh wait, Spike doesn't."
yeah, and then yes, she has to deal with that. But the fact that she's now kind of realized, wait, I have wings. I have wings. Remember, you have wings. Now this starts coming into one of the problems that one of the big kind of gripes I have with this episode is Starlight's power level is,
God damn.
yeah, it's way too high. Starlight somehow goes over what Star Swirl did. Outdoes Star Swirl with the time spell, unless he just intentionally left it, kind of malformed so it couldn't be used that way. And
He
she
does that
just
a
figured
lot.
out what little he changed to get it to work the way she wanted it to. She was, she.
Well, I mean, and at the same time, it wasn't just her. She also figured out that she could use the map to, enhance it.
But still, yeah, it was the fact that she worked out all this stuff, how to levitate herself on a regular basis, which, really, yeah, it does seem like she's just a little bit broken on the power level scale of this universe. Because I mean, what could Twilight have done this? Back before she was an alicorn?
Yeah.
And she's supposed to be, the premier magic user in all of Equestria, short of the princesses, until she became a princess. But she was supposed to be basically the premier magic user outside of alicorns. So, and then this, where was she? Why wasn't she Celestia's pupil?
Yeah, and the one thing that I found interesting is that she never ran into herself. Like, you would figure that there'd be an alternate version of her since time changed and stuff, like a version where she didn't become a Celestia student.
Well, here's the thing: I don't think they ever went to Canterlot. And if you think back, I mean, this could be running under the no, that's not. Never mind. But you think about where she was. Okay, without the rainbow. Without the rainbow, she doesn't hatch Spike. She doesn't go God mode and start brawl. Just
I turned my
spewing.
parents into plants.
Essentially, yeah. She doesn't go, no pupils and without it. So if she doesn't do that, she never gets her cutie mark in that. She never gets to be Celestia's pupil. She never becomes. She never has a reason to leave Canterlot. I mean, looks like Canterlot is her home. So she wouldn't have been in Ponyville at any time because she would have been stuck in Canterlot.
True.
Because she would have been doing something else because she would have stayed in Canterlot with where her parents were. She would have done something else, maybe, but she would have probably stayed in Canterlot. Heck, she, for all we know, could have moved to Manhattan to do something else. She could be, or she could be a bureaucrat, or she could be a librarian. And that would be easily; those two would be easy to say.
I could totally see her as one of the librarians.
Yeah. Somebody who knows books backwards and forwards, knows where everything is, and can easily find you any knowledge you need to know. That would be her in a nutshell. That would be, she's also shown she can be a good bureaucrat when she wants to be. She could be some petty functionary in some, something. Yeah, she could even be something akin to what, Sherlock's brother. His name is
Holmes.
Mycroft. Yeah, she could be a Mycroft even. Very, very good at her job, and just she's there. She works kind of in the background of the government, doing all sorts of things in the background, organizing things. She's got a little talent with magic. So she works on that. Just she does a whole lot of little things for the government. There's no telling what she would have been without that moment. I mean, and those are very easy possibilities. She was probably still in Canterlot, given that's where her power, where her skills, other than her magic, would have been the most useful.
Here's my possibility. I see her in a room for years on end, saying, "Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong?" Studying over book after book after book.
Yeah. But yeah, that was an overall problem I saw. Was just Starlight was way too powerful for what she was. One other thing we see that's kind of an overall problem I have with the episode that I haven't addressed yet was we never see the altered marks. Like, what did did their marks change? Now, in the Changeling...
Or did they ever get them?
Well, eventually they would have gotten them at some point, but they may not have been the same marks.
True.
Their destiny would have been changed. So maybe Rarity doesn't figure out that she's good at finding gems, and she has a completely different cutie mark. Applejack, does something different.
Applejack's cutie mark would still be apple related.
Probably, but considering she still manages to make it back to the farm in, I think, all of these scenarios. It would have been interesting if there had been one scenario where she stayed in Manhattan and became something else. She became a debutante or something and just,
Oh, God.
But, yeah, I mean, we never see how their marks would have changed. I mean, at Ponyville with that Applejack would be interesting. What is that like?
Yeah.
But that's things that really kind of cover all of the episode. Now to get into like stuff about individual things.
Yeah.
Let's see. During the the somber one, the first one, we see a lot of interesting things in the that some effort put in. It's interesting to see the support industry for the war, and that the nature that basically Ponyville is empty. There's the apples on the hill making goods for the war, That's about it. Everybody else is boarded up. They're all in Canterlot or somewhere else helping with the cause. And you see how Ponyville, even just the nature deteriorates without ponies around. Because
Yeah.
they were said, that they have the Everfree goes and does its thing without any pony influence. So I'm assuming that uh, all the greenery, all the stuff outside of the Everfree is mostly taken care of by ponies. That's what causes them to be green and nice and lush.
Yeah.
I think, at least from a, you know, temporal mechanics viewpoint of it, what's happening is so many changes. It's even though it's the same change is happening over and over again. It's causing a deterioration of the timeline itself, which is what's causing all of these changes. Because you notice the same thing is being altered, causing different results.
Yeah. Which makes me want to see just everyone just sometime in the entire thing where the Doctor, Doctor Hooves is,
Yes, I was
he's in
disappointed
he's
he
in the
wasn't
time
involved in
stream or
that.
something. He's looking at them outside of a red barn, a small red barn or something, an outhouse or something. That would be funny. You see an outhouse pop by, and you see in the time stream, and you see Doctor Hooves poke his head out and just glare at Starlight.
Yeah, no, somebody
Yes.
should make like a comic, right, where he glares at her and he just walks over to her and punches her in the face and says, "Stop screwing up the timeline! God damn it! Just stop it!"
Yeah, and you see Derpy. You see Derpy, poking her head out too. It's like, what is it, Doctor? Somebody's messing with the timeline again. The rain boom is a fixed point. I cannot change it.
Yes.
Not without disastrous effects.
Yes, just stop it. And it's interesting, like towards the end, it went like Fallout, like, yeah.
Yeah, there's a comic of Little Pip
Yeah.
showing up. And,
Actually, there's like a couple comics.
well, the one I've seen.
Yeah, is it the one where little Pip blasts Starlight Glimmer's head off?
Yes, that's the one I saw.
Okay. I figured as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny comic.
Let's see. We get mind control helmets. That's it's pretty fitting for Sombra, who still gets no dialogue.
He talked, just not as much, but he talked.
No, he didn't. He laughed,
Yeah, he laughed.
and that was about it.
I
There
think
was no
that's-
dialogue.
that's all
it
I
was just
remember.
ha 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 ha, and then that was it.
They couldn't match Madrox's voice well enough, so they couldn't do any dialogue for it.
Of course. Let's see. We get the slap fight of Doom. The Wonderbolt uniforms are cool. And apparently artificial wings are a thing. At least in that universe. So they couldn't have been that far behind, that far out from developing them. Even if they developed them during the war, they couldn't have been that far away from developing artificial wings in our current timeline. Because Sombra hasn't been back for very long, so technological advances as they are probably means that artificial wings weren't that far off. They may be just a thing in question right now. We just don't see them very often.
Or maybe they're just they're basically prosthetics, and there aren't many ponies that need the prosthetics, so
Yeah,
we don't
that's
really
basically
see
what I was
it.
getting at. Was they were prosthetic? They were. Yeah, that's what I meant by like an artificial limb, an artificial wing. That's basically what I was getting at. Yeah, which Dash in all these scenarios keeps getting either a new haircut, some sort of scar or something. She always
Hmm.
looks a little
Poor
more
Dash.
intimidating than usual. We get pies smashing rocks,
That
which
was
Hmm.
awesome.
makes me wonder what their job is outside of that. Do they just bash pony skulls in? Is that their job? they just they're so strong that their job is to just beat ponies to death.
Yeah. But instead of a party cannon, she has a real cannon.
Yeah, and it seems like with super strength they just go up and punch ponies once or twice and they're gone. I mean, that it seems like they would be a very devastating weapon on the battlefield.
Oh, damn.
Considering they can crush rocks like that,
Hmm.
what would they do? What would they do to a pony with just a couple strikes of that caliber?
Yeah.
One thing that
It's like
bothered me. Well, go ahead.
it's like Celestia's like, we must clone them.
Uh, anyway, what thing that bothered me is Twi didn't figure out the first time what she did to change things. Considering you had a whole speech on the rain boom, like right
Yeah.
before this.
Hmm.
She's she's kind of slow, isn't she?
um,
Really, really slow.
we saw a, a very. It's a very good villain move.
Hmm.
The Starlight stops the rain boom with kindness. It's like you shouldn't bully others.
Yes.
And that's how she freaking kills the rain boom. It's like
that that is the that is like the perfect villain move, and I totally approve of that.
I
Yeah.
Because you
love.
can't do anything about it. You can't be like,
no, you
have to
should bully
because
him.
then it makes you look evil.
Yeah, then you're the he's like, oh my, you're such a meanie. It's like,
Mhm.
but we need them to be jerks to get this thing to happen. It's like,
I also think that the entire episode is a really good comment on how you can't. It doesn't matter whether you want to change something or not. Even if you had that power, you can't, because every every event in your life makes you who you are. I mean, this was an extreme version, but it also kind of comments about how
Yeah.
she was being bullied, and that's part of what made her who she is.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
more Fluttershy being bullied, but yeah, you can see it all over the place. Like Zakura even goes into the.
Hmm.
I don't think we didn't hit Zakura yet, but yeah, she goes into the whole the Zakura part of the episode, but she goes into the whole, a tiny move upstream causes a rather large change downstream,
Mhm.
and Picard's speech about all of our life is about making choices. Our lives depend on each of 1,000 choices we make every day. Do I invite Roxana or Suzette to the dance? To the spring dance. It's all, every choice has an effect.
Hmm.
But I will stop recording for a while and we'll get back to the thing. Wonderbolt uniforms are cool. Oh yeah, I already talked about that one. Five smashing rocks. Yeah, kills the rain with kindness. Creepy Twi creeps out Dash. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
It's like, you're an alicorn. Why would I raise you? That's totally
she's like,
cheating.
yeah, she's like, you're a full-grown adult. And then the other thing is, she notices she's an alicorn. Why does nobody ever pick up on the fact that, hey, wait, she's an alicorn. Maybe we should, pay attention to what she has to say, because, there's only like, what, four of them? So, they're kind of
Well,
rare.
technically, in this timeline, there's probably only one. Like, I know Luna's probably definitely still on the moon, and I have no idea where Cadence is, or even she is an alicorn.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
at
One or
any
two.
rate, you see an alicorn, you'd think, she's one of the few ones in this entire series that has come out and said, wait, you're a freaking alicorn. That's kind of important.
Mhm.
Even, if Celestia is the only alicorn, even, that more the
Yeah.
better. It's like, mm, for
Well,
my theory, it's
technically,
like,
less
wait,
the better.
you're the, what?
I was saying technically, less the better.
Well, more the better for my
Yeah,
argument.
yeah.
That she, she's the only alicorn. You see another alicorn, you say something. You notice something.
Mhm.
Uh, and there's only
Yeah.
been a handful of them, maybe 2 or 3 characters who have ever actually noticed, hey, wait, that's an alicorn. That seems a
Yeah.
little off.
And Applejack should have been like, hey, wait, you're an alicorn. You should go join the war. Go on now, shoot.
But anyway. Fluttershy has an odd thing at the end of the first episode, which it's odd. We're just now getting to the end of the first episode, though we did talk about more general things. But when Flutter says "destroyed," it's
Like,
kind
Flutter,
of
what happened to you?
it's cute / scary. It's hard to define. It's weird.
It's like, Fluttershy, what happened to you? You innocent creature.
Uh,
Oh, I love the part where Fluttershy falls through the clouds and Twilight's about to go save her, and so I was like, no, just don't know.
Mhm.
let's see. What else? Okay, we're now in episode 2.
Oh, there's one thing I want to say about Starlight Glimmer.
Mm-hmm.
Is she is like the first pony I've seen use the levitation spell to make herself levitate through the clouds and stuff, because I've been thinking, why don't all unicorns just do that to visit Cloudsdale?
Because they're not broken on the power scale. Because the
Yeah.
effort to
They're
levitating
not
a
OPs.
Yeah, but levitation isn't really that big of a spell. I mean, they levitate gems and rocks all the time.
yeah, but they're
Yes,
light.
but the size and the weight.
Yeah.
True.
They're not any
Don't
more
forget,
than
even when she was during not Ghostbuster, but the one after that with Trixie, when she was or the one with the alicorn necklace, she was like trying to levitate multiple animals at once, and even those small animals were difficult because she was just a normal unicorn,
True.
and it's difficult with concentration. It takes a lot of concentration. And if you slip just once, poof.
Well, that, and I think that they basically, unicorns are limited by what they could carry. I think that's mostly, if you're looking for probably a equivalency, it's that unicorns can probably levitate about what they could lift. If they could lift, unless they're specialized in magic.
It's basically telekinesis. And unless it's your special talent, unless you're like really good at telekinesis, you can only lift certain things.
Yeah.
A pin or a quill, easy. It's very light. Manipulate it very well. So you get unicorns. They don't have the advantage of strength. What they have is the extra dexterity with it. They can manipulate objects with very fine precision, and that's where they really gain something. Like, a unicorn, fencer would be very, very dangerous. You'd be very good. Considering, and they probably would have, if they had fencing tournaments, they probably would have classes for earth ponies and for unicorns. And I
Yeah.
suppose Pegasi to an extent, but that way you wouldn't have... Oh, a Pegasi fencing would be interesting. They could fly up. They could fly and mid-air fencing. You know, but a unicorn fencing would be interesting because they're not bound by arm length, my hoof length. They could...
I'm sorry, but thinking about unicorns fencing, I'm just picturing
Their
like
horns
them
going.
using their horns and extending them like freaking lightsabers. And
Yes.
it's like, Twilight, I am your father.
Well, except
It's
for
like,
that
Dad,
part.
stop that! It wasn't funny the first time.
Except for that part. Yes, yes. I was thinking that too. Vroom, vroom.
Again, it's good to see Zakura again and bringing wisdom. It's most of what I had on the Changeling. It was interesting to see the Changeling reappear, but I didn't really have a lot. I mean, we talked about the river already. You know, they're saying that you changed the flow, and it can change a lot of things downstream. But there wasn't much anything I wanted to say about the Changeling. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about with the Changeling?
Not really.
Chrysalis was cute. That's all.
One of the
Just have
things,
a
though,
thing
is...
for the holy ladies.
Oh, they're holy. Holier than that.
One thing, though, is, wouldn't the problem with a... See, this is my problem with a Changeling invasion, is that trying to harvest love is difficult, and infiltration is so much better for you than
Complete
taking over.
domination.
Because if they're in there dominating, and there's not a lot of love there, but if you infiltrate and you...
No, or here's what I would have done if I was Chrysalis. I would just go to Crystal Empire, as regular self, not disguised as anything. It says, hey, I'm not going to cause you any harm, but my children...
These were two separate timelines, though.
Yeah, but still either timeline. But it's like if she just wanted to cast someone, like, I'm not going to cause you any harm, but my family, they feed on love, and there's like lots of love here. So can we like stay here?
Try to be a Zygon.
Yeah, I
Yes.
because it's not like they eat the flesh of ponies.
Not unless you're not clever enough and they're very hungry.
True. And think about it. Lots of ponies love to date a changeling because they can be any pony you want them to be.
Kinky.
So can Discord.
Anyway.
Well, that's the real reason. That's the real reason Fluttershy loves them.
Oh, no. Discord can make her into anything, too. It's like, Discord, why did you turn me into a bad dragon?
Because you're a naughty girl.
I don't think so. I've been pretty nice, I thought.
Oh, you'll be naughty with me.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Wrong stream for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So Spike. Here's Spike being good, though. He notices the new time of day when they entered the Nightmare Moon kind of timeline. It's like, they brought us back to the same point in the same day every time. Why is it night this time? He's noticing something there. It's subtle, but it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And that's when Spike is the best. When he's being the he's the sidekick.
When he's being the bass guitar. Necessary, but not necessarily the one you notice.
Yeah.
He's there, he's important, but you don't always notice him first.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to see the Castle of the Two Sisters at its height again.
that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
I loved seeing Rarity as that. She
have
kind
you
of
come
took
to view the
on almost a
tapestries?
Twilight. She kind of took on an almost Twilight look to her, with her. I'm sorry, we're closed for viewing.
Yeah.
The organizer thing.
What is that? Have you come to view the tapestries from?
I don't know,
That's
but
gonna-
I mean, the whole changeling thing was totally Attack of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, I need to look that up. I meant to look that up. I made it a note to look it up, but I think it's a Monty Python bit. But
Probably.
yeah,
I finally started reading the comics, and one of the first comics I read had the pod ponies, the changelings. Like Holy Shades of Attack of the Body Snatchers.
Beep,
no, it's
boop, beep, beep, boop.
yeah, it looks like it's from Indiana Jones actually, in the Last Crusade
Mm-hmm.
or something. I don't know. I'll probably look it up later.
Yeah.
It seems something Python-esque.
They probably did a parody of it on Python.
Well, I think it was too late for Python to be doing that, and they usually
Maybe
didn't
one
do
of the,
pop culture things. Usually, they usually were
Maybe
timeless.
one of those anniversaries or something.
I don't know.
Maybe Blackadder.
I don't know. Anyway, moving on. And one of the weird things, I guess, was dragons are now some sort of pariah. I don't know anyone that would. You know, I don't associate with dragons, and I don't know anyone who would. You know, are dragons now some sort of pariah? You racist against dragons, huh? Alrighty.
Or Spike. Like, why,
Yes.
my love? Why would you say that?
It's like a dagger in my heart.
You're a little bit racist.
Something that struck me at the point in watching it was that Starlight never had a reality where she took over. You know. But then again, I guess that would, getting her to stop being that would have been difficult. It wouldn't, whatever.
And she didn't really want to take over the entirety of Equestria. She just wanted her own little village where she had friends. Even though, they were forced to be her friends, but still. That's all she wanted.
She still wanted to
She just-
spread the message of equality and the evils of cutie marks.
That's basically all she wanted, was she wanted her friends that couldn't argue with her. She wanted those she wanted Mr. Turnip and Mr. Rock from Pinkie Pie's party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty effective thing. We see Dash as a bat pony guard, which, I mean, if in this universe, that seems kind of cool that she would.
Can't beat 'em, join 'em.
Nightmare Moon, when they're walking back to the map, just see the callous wolf killing. It's just like.
I think that was a great ploy on Twilight's part. Very calculating and very clever.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I can't get through that forest again by myself, and I doubt I could escape her.
And they are made out
Just
of
use her to guard me on my way there.
They are made out of wood,
then run away.
so it wasn't like she was murdering a living. Well, it was a living creature.
They'll just It's kind of like killing those skeleton turtles on Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
They'll just get back up later.
Yeah.
It'll be an inconvenience more than anything.
Yeah.
Let's see. We start getting our blinks of other villains, like T-Rex getting a blink of destruction. Discord gets some chaos. One thing that was annoying was that Flim and Flam got a disastrous future, but no Trixie.
I
Well,
know. That's
yeah.
because Trixie wasn't really evil to begin with.
Yeah, she wasn't evil.
She
She was
the
just
only
showboating.
reason she even did the alicorn necklace was because she was outshone by Twilight. If
Yeah.
Twilight was never there, she would just keep doing what she was doing. It would never would have escalated.
Perhaps. Still, we don't get an explanation for why Flim and Flam would suddenly have an empire either, so...
Because I think that was kind of a nod to the old Captain Planet villains, where it's like they became destroyers of the ecosystem.
Well, that and it does make sense because since I mean
They were greedy and they were very ambitious with their greed.
Well,
and so
yeah.
it makes sense that they became villains.
well, yeah, but it also makes sense. Well, they were villains, but not like villains. Like I mean, since Twilight never came to Ponyville, and the friends never joined together, Applejack's farm was closed down when Granny Smith opened her big mouth to say, "I'd take you up on your challenge."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
let's see. So at this point, we're getting towards the end of all the terrible futures, and we get I think at this point we get the wasteland, and Twilight says, "I don't know why my friends are so important." Really, Twilight, you don't know why your friends are so important?
I think
Elements
she
of-
meant to the grand scheme of things.
But still, in the
Comparative.
grand scheme of things, think half a second about what you and your friends have done. They have been the elements of harmony. They reformed Luna. You've gone through basically all the villains. You stopped. And you don't know why you're important?
I think what she meant is, I don't know why it's my friends that have this. I don't know why we're the special ones, but we are, and you're kind of screwing the entire world over by messing with it.
Yeah.
And she was trying to be humble with that, I think is what it was. It's like, I don't know why it's us, but it is, and we have to stop you.
I guess it depends on how you take what she said, but yeah. Losing a friend, see, here's where we get into Starlight's backstory.
Mm-hmm.
Losing a friend over a cutie mark seems a small thing to cause such a deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see, the thing is that it makes sense for what might have been an alternate and more. I don't know. We're talking about emotion here, so logic doesn't always enter into it, but. Why didn't she just start hanging out with only ponies who had their mark? Because then the mark wouldn't take them away.
Yeah, a cutie mark doesn't take away your friends. You see Twist sitting alone. I wonder how Apple Bloom's doing.
Yeah.
Because pretty much, she got her cutie mark and you never see her again hanging out with the cutie mark crusaders.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah. So, yeah, at worst case scenario, it seems like the thing that would happen would be she would go, okay, well, I'll no longer hang out with blank flanks because I don't want them to suddenly get their cutie mark and not have anything to do with me.
Yeah.
Whereas if I get my cutie mark, I can be in control over whether I leave or not. Then it's my decision if I hurt them.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
that's logic, and that's not emotion.
Yeah, it's very hard to think rationally when you were just abandoned by your only friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, you don't see, Apple Bloom didn't go crazy.
Yeah.
She moved on.
Moondancer did. It was Moondancer, right? She did.
Mm,
She
She didn't. It wasn't a Cutie Mark that did it. It was a a job that Celestia gave her.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it was still her one friend abandoned her, and the one person she looked up to and
Well,
felt closest to.
and then again, it kind of was the Cutie Mark because Twilight got the Cutie Mark and then she moved to Ponyville.
I think there was a gap
Well,
between
yeah,
that.
there's
though.
a gap between that, but still, it started with the Cutie Mark.
Yes.
But
And
anyway.
it was a similar situation. I was kind of thinking, why don't you introduce her to Moondancer? You can start your own My Friends Abandoned Me club.
The Disciples of
Abandonment-
Twilight.
Abandonment Anonymous.
Yes.
Goodness. Yeah.
Wow,
Me-
the entire stream was spent talking about the 3 new episodes.
Oh, I'm not even done yet.
I know,
I've still got
it's-
5 more lines on my notes. 5 more talking points. Then we'll open up to whatever else we have to talk about, and then we'll wrap it up, I guess. And like I said, this could take a while. I knew this could take a while because I got all. I was like, well, we're dealing with 3 episodes. It's going to take a while, and we spent a lot of time doing main attraction. So,
That's because it was your waifu.
shh. So Princess Twilight defeats Starlight with the power of lecture.
She needs to have a special pair of glasses for the lecture defeat thing.
Yes. I'm going to.
You know those librarian glasses that she wore in the that human her wore.
Yeah, she pulls out a pair of glasses, slips them on, and goes. And now I'm going to tell you why you suck.
And this is why you need to stop what you're doing right now.
Yeah. Starlight is a little. Starlight is quickly contrite. She goes from her, I don't care. I just want to watch the world burn. Even if I have to burn the world, I'll burn you, sort of thing. To. I'm sorry. Sorry. That seems a little quick. But that's pretty much standard operating procedure with the show. It's like, if somebody's going to be reformed, it's going to be in the last couple minutes of the episode, and that's going to be it. It's going to be quick. It's going to be, I'm sorry, and then it's going to, it's same thing with Shimmer. It's same thing with all, It's going to be a quick change.
I mean, same thing happened with Trixie. It's like, I'm the great and humble Trixie now. And now I'm going to run away.
We had the song, which was okay. It was average pony, which is better than probably most cartoons, but it was average pony. I think they blew the song budget on Crusaders of the Lost Mark because that was freaking amazing.
Like I said, I think that song at the end was just like, shit, it's a season finale, but we don't have a song. Quick, scribble something up.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did.
Yeah. Told Daniel Egram, just write something to wrap this thing up. We need a montage. And as usual, for the most part, I mean, it was only for one angle of the camera. When they shifted angles, she marched with the rest of them. But like in their little marching scene, when you have Spike has his little drum and they're all doing their, we're going to walk together down the street, all in a nice little chevron, and we're just gonna walk down, avoiding the fact that would be incredibly inconvenient for anybody coming the other direction. It's like, oh, the Twilight and her friends are walking in a chevron again.
It's another Twilight march. Quick, take a detour.
Yeah, just go off to the side and wait a minute. They'll be past. listen to the music as they pass. They usually sing. But while they're doing that, you see, while everybody else is marching, as usual, Pinky is sitting there hopping, just bouncing. It's like, huh. Yeah, that's Pinky. I do like the fact that during the montage we get Starlight seeking forgiveness in Equal Town. We don't, nothing's spoken, but you can tell what's going on.
I think that part did go a little like, if I remember, because I watched it kind of during my binging of all the shit I missed during my my convention week.
Yeah.
But didn't they forgive her a little too easily there?
Oh, they're ponies. Ponies forgive
like,
each other so easily.
You ruined my life. Okay, hey buddy, welcome home.
Yeah. Well, it's not like she stays there anyway either, because we see her in the next scene walking down Ponyville, through Ponyville. So she went there. She asked. She apologized, showed her contrition, and then
trip.
Yeah, and then came back. Well, it's not all that happened on the same day. They compressed everything down.
No, there's like a thing going around that people thinking that Starlight Glimmer is going to be like the 7th member of the main cast.
8th member, don't forget about Spike.
Well, I mean, elements, the pony cast. and
Would she be the element of...
I don't know, element of equality.
Envy?
Now, my thing about that is, I think she will be part of the main 7 now, but not like she's gonna be with them. I think it's gonna be like how a Babseed is with the Cutie Mark Crusaders. She's going to go out in the world to preach friendship.
I don't think she's going to be a member of the main 7. I think she's going to just be one of their converts that they send off to preach their love.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I don't think she's going to be there all the time. She'll show up every now and again, but
which, as I was saying, I think she's going to be the pony that goes out in the world to preach friendship.
She's going to be one of the disciples of Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of her disciples.
She's not actually going to become one of the main 6 or main 7.
She's not going to be like a character like Applejack or Rarity or somebody who's there all the time. She's going to be there. She shows up maybe once a season. It's probably going to be about like Trixie. She shows up every couple seasons or so. We get her episode in, and then that's all you see of her for a while.
And then again, we could all be wrong, and she's like in every single episode. We just have to see when it, season 6.
I doubt
she's
that.
She's going to become Dr. Hooves' new companion.
No, that is Derpy, or at the very worst, it's Roseluck. It's Derpy is his companion.
Hey.
At least it's not me.
Hey, or Trixie.
Trixie would be a good companion.
I don't know.
Hey, she's the Doctor's companion in our radio play.
I still prefer Derpy above every other one of them.
Yeah, but Derpy's been done too many times.
Derpy's done to death. Derpy is the Rose Tyler of Doctor Hooves.
No.
She has about the same intelligence level too.
That depends greatly upon who's writing her.
And I kind of want to do a character thing where the Doctor was the assistant and Trixie was perfect for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the show.
But yeah, love defeats hate, and Pinky revealed the 4th wall to them. Because everybody at the end, they're not standing around looking at each other or looking at anything in particular. They're just staring at the screen. It's like Pinky finally just went, whatever. See that over there? That's the 4th wall. What? And then the illusion is broken and they see the 4th wall. And it's...
Oh no, darling.
But At any rate, that's
Oops,
as much.
sorry, I broke it again.
Get the spackle again. Get the reality spackle, Pinky. Um,
Ugh.
I was gonna say.
As much as I hate it because I like being able to throw that suspension of belief in there, for certain cartoons like that and the classic Ninja Turtles, that breaking the fourth wall is always fun.
It's usually fun unless it's way overdone.
Yeah. But I mean, like in the classic Ninja Turtles where they just go and talk to the audience randomly.
But yeah, that's about all I
Or
had
what
for.
Cutie Pie does.
That's about what I had for the Cutie remark. Do we have any final thoughts on this one before we kind of round it out?
Nope. I've said everything else on my mind.
Mm-hmm.